Okay, so here are our second floor pieces. We have the back, the side with the window, side on the chimney, the top and bottom, and the front. And I have folded along all of the score lines, gotten those ready to go so that we can put it together. These are our trim pieces and acetate and the door. So let's start by putting together our series of the front and sides. Start here with the front piece because we know where everything goes from there. This is side piece is going to come over here. That's going to be the side where the chimney is. I'll get my gluing mat down here. Some glue on this tab and line things up. Glue it down. I was thinking of the siding problem that I had on the first floor that generally when I'm making these houses, I'll use like a brick pattern for the first floor and siding for the second. I think it gives it a little more character. But for purposes of this tutorial, we're just going to do our whole house as siding. Okay. So, side of the house by where the chimney will be. Put on the back piece. So this is kind of pretty obvious, I think, for anybody that's worked with it at all. The complex part of the house is going to be the roof, but the 2 stories not difficult. Finally, our side window. If you do have a bay window and a side window on top of it, just make sure that if you're going to have a roof on your bay window, that you leave room. Leave room for that roof here so it's not obscuring your window. Okay. So that's that. It'll be put together like so. But as before, let's put our acetate on. Make sure that we've got all our seams tight. We'll put our acetate on, put our door on, and then we'll be ready to put on the trim. So all of the windows on this top level, the second level, sorry, are the same. So it doesn't matter which piece we grab. Let's see, my scissors. Again, I'm going to Scotch tape the vellum into place. In this case, the acetate. I may call it vellum just out of habit. Okay. This is on the inside, not the outside of your piece here. If you were going to get really fancy and turn this into a dollhouse-like house, people would look in and see things. You'd want to make your floors between the levels solid. And you'd probably want to cut pieces of something like a wallpaper or whatever to cover up the inside, especially if you were doing taping and other things that are not as elegant. However, since most people don't go peeking in through the windows, but it's very easy to see glue smudges on them, I like the Scotch tape method. And then here's our door. It has our hinge piece on it. Again, I'm going to put the hinge on the left side, so it'll go like that. I want to make sure that my door will swing open. So in this particular case, I think I'm going to use, I want to push down from this side so I can align it. It's a little too hard to tell from the back side if it's going to fit correctly. But this will open. It's a little tight. It's fine. Okay, so that is our door and our windows. And let's go ahead and glue the siding on. We didn't do that on the first story, but I think in retrospect it seemed like a really good idea to put it on at this point. So I'll put it on the back. Again, this could be decorative paper. It could be brick, look like brick, or it could be, I don't think I got that straight. It could look like brick, or it could look like stone. Or it could just look like siding, like I decided to do here. Okay, put this window on. Oh, okay. Just line it up with the score lines. Here's our side where the chimney will be. I really wish they made embossers that would do a lot bigger pieces. I know they do, but there's not very many embossing folders available for it. So I do the best I can with what I have. Okay. And there's this. Before I glue this on, I think I'm going to glue the other pieces on just to make it simpler. I already glued this one on, so I'll just go ahead and put this on over here. The reason I want to put it on before I glue the pieces on is just because, again, the oozing problem. Don't want to accidentally make my panes of acetate look oozy. And just on the outside. Line it up. A little bit over there. Oh well. Okay. Okay, before we put this together, let me put on these other trim pieces. The glue. You could make this video shorter by speeding it up, but I think it's nice to know how long things really take to build. So I don't like to skip lots of steps here. I will have to edit out when my phone rang. We'll get there. I do not have a studio for recording. I have a basement that everybody uses. Okay. Again, if you want to do inking on something like this, that's great. It will make it look nicer. But for purposes of showing you what I'm doing, this is all I'm not going to put a whole lot of extra inking and things on. Videos are long enough as they are. And if you want to learn techniques for inking and for gluing, I strongly recommend doing some of the Dreaming Tree projects and following those videos because they're really good. I learned so much from doing them, and they should get the credit for that. I've gotten lots of my money too, which is absolutely fine, worth every penny. Okay, so now we have our second level. Nice long piece here. Let's connect it up. In this case, we can fold it flat and connect it. The bay windows on the first floor made this difficult to do, so since we don't have bay windows on this one, you can just lay it flat. I'm seeing something here I don't love. Let me tack this down a little better. Okay. I've noticed that on occasion embossing can slightly change the size of a piece. Not usually significantly enough to hurt anything, but it's still something to be aware of. Alright, so this is where we'll be putting our top and bottom pieces on. Let's start with the bottom. And I'll do this long side first. I'll do the side, this other long piece. The reason I'm doing all of the gluing on this at the same time is just that it's very hard to get in there with the glue after you have more than one side down. So I'm just going to tack it on the corner there. Tack it on the side. Line it up as best I can. Okay, let's see, this is coming together pretty well. That's the bottom. There are drawbacks to putting the siding on first. You can kind of mess things up. But okay, so now we've got the bottom on. Let's put the top on. Same process. We'll do the back. And if you'll remember when we cut out this hole in the center, we used an inset to do it. If you just drew a rectangle and wanted to use that, turn it into a path and use it as a cutout, you can, but do center it, and both horizontally and vertically when you do it, so that you don't have to worry about which is front and which is back when you build your house, if you build a house that's this shape anyway. Obviously, there are lots of different things you can do with a house. So All right, we're just about done with the easy part. Meaning the first and second levels and the foundation and the balcony level. Not too much left to do. But there is the roof, and because of those dormer windows, those are a little tricky, but we'll get to that. So here's our second floor, our second story. So let's take a look at what we've got so far. It's going to look something like this. You can see that we're getting there. Okay. But we need a roof. And we need to put a roof on our bay window, which will be coming up in the upcoming videos.